We're back again with another tier list video because today I was thinking about fun treats I had in my childhood and how much I miss them. So then I thought, let's put together a list of things I remember from my childhood and then we're gonna rank them tier list style. Probably heavily Canadian. So what is this? 27 things? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 27. 27 things that I remember just from my childhood. And some of these things they of course still make today. Although, gotta say, they're obviously not as good as they used to be when we were kids. We're starting off here strong with a classic, Dunkaroos. Okay? Dunkaroos. These little shits were so freaking good. That cookie, that vanilla icing with the sprinkles in it, so yummy. That fudge frosting, the chocolate version was so good. I don't think I knew anybody when I was a kid who didn't like Dunkaroos or didn't think that they were fun in any way. And like, they were just a perfect little lunchbox snack. Just come in their own little container. Got your little cookies, you got your little icing. I don't know why they thought that children needed cookies dipped in icing, but we did, and we loved it. And I think they still make Dunkaroos, right? Did they like bring them back recently in the US? Just for reference, for those of you who don't know, I'm Canadian. I grew up in Canada, but I currently live in the US. So some things are different in the countries, you know? We got some things here, we got some things there. Some things we do have both. But Dunkaroos, I know, went away for a little while, but just came back again. Because I've seen them at Target. So Dunkaroos, we are going to give A tier, I think. I think they deserve A tier because they're delicious. And I kind of want to recreate like a home-baked version of Dunkaroos. How fun would that be? It'd be really hard to get the icing super good though. Moving on. All right. Our next section here is a quite large variety of Vachon things. Vachon was kind of like Canada's Little Debbie. I don't know if it existed in all of Canada, but definitely in Ontario it did, and I'm pretty sure it came from Quebec, so you know, that zone as well. Growing up, we had a Vachon outlet near us, and it was like Christmas. So my mom would be like, you guys want to load up in the car and go to the Vachon outlet? And we'd be like, yeah, I do. And then we would go, and then we would each get to choose one thing, I think. Maybe I'm making that up in my head, but I feel like I got some sway. I feel like I got some say into what we were getting at the Vachon outlet. And it was just, those were the days. The Vachon outlet, that place had such a good smell to it. It was in this little strip mall, like vividly. I can see it in my head. I can smell it. That like cardboard and sugar smell. That's how it smelled. So these next couple items are primarily Vachon things. So if you're not Canadian, you won't really know, but I'll try to describe them to you. First up, we have the ever popular Joe Louis. Joe Louis. I like to call them Joss Louis. I used to think that was really funny because, you know, I was a really cool kid. So a Joe Louis is basically like, I want to say it's like a devil's food cake on the top and the bottom with like a vanilla cream in the middle, and then it's dunked in chocolate. But it's so soft and squishy. And somehow, like, I remember it being not too sweet. I've actually had one within the last couple years for sure. My family has sent some to me, and it still hit pretty hard. Of course, that cream filling on the inside tastes so much more fake now than it used to as a kid. But was it actually better when I was a kid, or have I just grown up and my palate's changed? Like, it could be one or the other, or it could just be both together all in one. Oh, these shits. When I opened up my lunchbox and there was a Joe Louis in there, you freaking bet your ass I was not sharing that bad boy with anyone. Joe Louis, S tier for me. Here we go. Next up, the Roulette Roll. No, the Roulette Roll does not have chocolate on the outside, and that's why I loved it. It was just a really soft cake rolled up with like that vanilla icing in the center. Delicious. Sweet, sugary, chocolatey, creamy goodness. How can you go wrong with that? I also really loved it that it came, I'm pretty sure it was just like one in a little package, whereas the Swiss rolls, which is like very similar, I think more of a lighter chocolate flavored cake, but it was dipped in chocolate and there would be two in a package. And I didn't like that. I didn't like two, I just wanted like one, and I preferred the Roulette Roll definitely over the Swiss roll. So Roulette Roll, S tier for me. And then since we talked about it, we'll put the Swiss roll, you know, she's gonna go B tier. I'm sorry. I liked it, but she wasn't my favorite. And still to this day, living in the States, I keep looking for something that's similar, that's gonna give me similar vibes. And I found one. What was it? It was like some sort of Swiss rolly type thing like this, dipped in chocolate as well, but it tasted like cardboard, dust. Where was the chocolate flavor? There wasn't any. Okay, I gotta look this up. Little Debbie. Okay, Little Debbie does have Swiss rolls. Yeah, they were not good. The Swiss rolls I remember from my childhood, from Vachon, I'm pretty sure, are way better than these, because I've had these pretty recently and they were disgusting. Next up we have the classic brownie. A lot of people know these as like the cosmic brownies, just like a really yummy little brownie with that fudge icing on top and those cosmic colored sprinkles, those round little shits. Oh my God, I don't know what was like, why were those so good? I still think about cosmic brownies a lot in my adult life. I loved a cosmic brownie. I'm gonna give these A tier because they were good and they still are good, and I like brownies, but I don't love brownies. All right, next up, Passion Flaky. Suck my dick, D tier. I hate Passion Flakies. I hate them. I hate them so much. My sister was obsessed with them. Passion Flakies, and I didn't put these on the list, but Pillsbury toaster strudels. Those are a thing, right? I think they have those here in the States. Hate them. They have this weird, oily, fake butter taste that like kind of coats your mouth. I don't know if it's just like a shortening or I don't know what it is, but it was so off-putting to me. Like thinking about it even as a child made me want to gag. Like I don't know what it was. I was just so sensitive to some ingredient in the Passion Flakies. Now the idea of them, amazing. Like a flaky pastry with a cream and like a jam inside. That sounds amazing, right? That sounds pretty good. Like yummy, delicious. How could that be bad? I don't know. They did not hit. They weren't for me. I did not enjoy them. Passion Flakies, not for me. I want to like them. I want to like the idea of them, and I like a more upscale version of them with like a, you know, a real puff pastry, real cream, and a not too sweet jam. I think that's what I would like. And to be honest, I have not tried these as an adult, so I don't know if they are still the same or how I feel about them to this day. But as a child, I fucking hated them. Moving on. Oh man, caramels, still S tier. These little shits, woo boy, they have like this white, weird cake. You can't even call it vanilla. I don't know. It's just a neutral flavored, white, spongy cake. And then there's like a little divot in the center with like a kind of nougat icing that makes a ring. And there's caramel in there. And then the whole thing is dunked in chocolate. So you have this little self-contained, delicious caramel, white, fluffy chocolate thing. And you take a little bite and you go, caramel. And it just like, my mouth is watering thinking about them right now. Within the last year or so, definitely have had these sent to me. I love caramels. Apparently, now I've only heard rumors, okay? I cannot confirm this to be true, but I've heard rumors that there is a Joe Louis caramel mashup. So it's like the devil's food cake, I think, and then the caramel. I don't know if I would like that because I like the classic. I like the caramel. They're amazing. They're definitely really, really sweet. They make my teeth hurt when I eat them. Like they're that sweet, but they're small, so it's manageable. And if you were ever in Canada and you've never had an caramel, please try them. They're also really good if you freeze them. Leave these little bad boys in the freezer for a little bit. The cake never really freezes, but the caramel gets like really chewy. So good. Moving on. Next up, we have the Miloy, which is funny because I'm pretty sure it's like very similar to the Passion Flaky, but I liked these a little bit more. I don't know why. Let's put the Miloy, C tier, because I didn't love it. It's not something that we regularly got. Yeah, it was good. Just your pastry layers, some cream, and some fruitness, and then that little doot on top. Yummy. A real Miloy. Oh boy, sign me up. I love those so much. But these ones, they were okay. I didn't love them. They were never my first choice. If we are currently looking at how things are going, my S tier is heavily chocolate. Which is funny, because I wouldn't really consider myself like a #1 chocolate fan, but I guess these things they're really easy on the chocolate flavor. They're not like real chocolate, okay? Whatever. Now I know that we have a yop here, but we'll come back to that. We gotta get through the Vachons first. Mae West's. Okay, the Mae West is very similar to the Joe Louis, but with a white cake that's very similar to the caramel cake. And it's a little fluffier than the Joe Louis, and then it has, I think I wanna say it's like a slightly coconutty custard cream in the middle and then dunked in chocolate. It's like a darker chocolate than the Joe Louis. My dad used to always covet these. Like he would get a box of them and hide them in the freezer, and I always thought that I wouldn't like them because I was so into the Joe Louis. Like Joe Louis was my bad boy. Like we were ride or die. He was my pal, Joe Louis. But one day I tried a Mae West when there were no Joe Louis left and I was having a snack attack and I was home alone. I needed a sweet treat. What are you gonna do? There's no Joe Louis. I lived in an ingredient household mostly, so I knew that there were some secret treats that my dad had hidden in the freezer, the deep freezer in the garage, and I tried my first Mae West. And my life was changed. These things are awesome. Mae West, S tier, love you. Next up, Billet Log. Don't know if that's how you actually say it, but that's how I always said it. Again, something that I've tried to find a similar version here in the States, and there is a similar version, I think a Little Debbie one, but again, doesn't hit. It's not the same. It's so chemically tasting. It's like overly sweet and overly fake tasting. So it's not good. The Billet Log, it's just like a white cake, the white cream, and raspberry. And then it had like a raspberry jam that it was kind of, the outside was rolled in or something raspberry, a raspberry goo, okay? And then rolled in coconut. Coconut raspberry vanilla? Come on. Coconut raspberry vanilla, so good. I gotta put Billet Log in S tier. You know what? There might be a lot of things in S tier because obviously I think there was a bit of a bias here. When I was trying to think of things from my childhood, obviously I was thinking of things that I enjoyed. Some things I put in because Grant remembered them from his childhood growing up in the US. Maybe we had a little bit of a different time in our snacks that we had, so he didn't really remember that many things, but I want to say, no, we have a couple more Vachon things. All right, first, the Half Loon Moon. Basically a Joe Louis, but just vanilla and nothing on the outside. These motherfuckers were so soft, like the softest, most tender cake. It's kind of like the Canadian version of a Twinkie, I suppose, but like 20 times better than a Twinkie. These motherfuckers slapped. S tier. All right, so we have two more Vachon things, or at least one that I think, I remember it being a Vachon item, but I don't know, it could have been some other random brand. Now this one I'm gonna talk about. I could not even find a picture of the original packaging. I can't find any mention of it online anywhere, but Vachon made these little cakes. They were called Queen Elizabeth cakes, so it was like a really moist date cake, and then it just had like a, I don't know if it was like a cream cheese style ribbon of frosting on top or what it was, but it was in the style of these carrot cakes right here, which is why I put them on there because that's the only photo of anything similar I could find. The carrot cakes, they were pretty good. They weren't bad. But the Queen Elizabeth cakes, if you would have told me as a child I liked a date cake, I would have been like, ew, dates, I loved it. I loved it. Dates, date cake, I love now as an adult. And it was just such a fun little treat. It's like this little tiny bar of cake with a little strip of frosting. It wasn't too much. It was a perfect little tiny snack. It was great. I loved it so much. Okay, we're using the carrot cake photo, but just know I'm thinking about the Queen Elizabeth date cake. It was so good. Last up, the thing I'm thinking of, they were called Hop and Goes. I don't know if they're still made. They were like these little muffin cookie bars, really oaty, kind of dense and soft and chewy. And there was I vividly remember the chocolate chunk one, but I don't know if there were any other flavors. There's gotta have been like a fruit one, probably. Loved these mothers. They were so good. And you felt like you were being healthy because it was like oaty and it was like a muffin, but really you know it was loaded with sugar. In like a good way though, okay? In a good way. What are you talking about? It was good for you, right? It's a muffin. It's got oats. It was good for me. I loved these bad boys, but I didn't super love them. I wouldn't have chosen them over my S tiers, and therefore I think she's going in A tier, which is not a bad rating. That's still really good, right? Okay, the Vachons are out. We're talking about just other random things that I remember from childhood. We're gonna start off with the Yop. The commercial was iconic. Like, hello? Yup, me mama smooth. Yup, me mama. Yup, for when the morning comes. So good. I loved a Yop. I want to say it was one of the first kind of drinkable yogurts. I know we had Yop, and there was also these little Petit Danons, like little tiny baby drinkable yogurts, and those were so good, so creamy. But Yop is what I remember the most and what I would get in my lunchbox sometimes. So we're gonna put Yop in B tier, cause you know, it's a fun treat, but is yogurt really a treat? Yogurt's just like, it's just yogurt, you know? Next up, goldfish crackers. I love goldfish crackers. I know their dentists say that they are just absolutely terrible for your teeth, because if you don't like brush your teeth after, all that cracker gunk is just hanging out in your teeth, doing cracker gunk things in your teeth, and that's not good.
Can I get some peace and quiet in this goddamn neighborhood any time ever? Like, come on.
But to this day, I still love a goldfish cracker. They were a rarity in my house growing up. Like, most of these things were a rarity. We weren't a snacky household. We were very much an ingredient household. And we'd have like lunch snacks that were dedicated for lunch, but they usually weren't things like goldfish crackers or stuff like that. If I ever did get a little baggie of goldfish crackers in my lunch, that was the best time. You know what? And then once I realized I was an adult and had free will, I was buying goldfish crackers and pounding them back like no other. Hi, creatures! And I still do to this day. Goldfish, S tier. Flavor blasted, extreme cheddar, #1. Just petting a dog butt over here, don't mind me. Next up, we're gonna talk about Toffee Faze. These, I feel like, have a different name in different areas from where they come, of like where they are. Like there's Toffee Faze, there's Toffee Fee, that is like these ones, like the EE, then there's like AY, I don't know. It's this little round caramel bottom with a hazelnut in the center and then a little chocolate doop on top to kind of cover the hazelnut. Cover the hazelnut? I hated these growing up so much, but they were always in our house and I was a little sugar addicted child and they were there. And so I would eat them. I don't even like them. Same with like Ferrero Rochers. Don't like them. I don't like hazelnut in that way when it's mixed with like really overly sweet stuff. I like upscale hazelnut, you know, like a fancy pastry shop praline type thing. Like that's what I like. But these I didn't like, but I ate them all the time anyway. And I think that's why I hate them so much more. The dog's having a drink. I hate them. Like thinking about them made me feel ill. I hate them so much. Toffee Faze, I'm so sorry, but you're a D tier. I'm sorry. What a thirsty boy over there, huh? Next up, we have, honestly, I don't even remember really ever having this in childhood. Like this is not something my mom would ever buy, but friends would have it and I would be like, let me get some of that Sunny Delight. Let me have a little sippy sip of the Sunny Delight. Come on, share it with me. Until I realized vegetable oil was an ingredient in it and I felt very weird about that. Even as a child, I was like, why is there vegetable oil in my drink? We're putting oil in the drinks now? We're doing liquid fat in the drinks? Why are we doing that? And I'm sure it was just for like emulsion purposes to make it nice and smooth. And it did have that smoothness to it. Very velvety, weird, oily smoothness. That's what it was doing, I suppose. I loved it. But you know what? Sunny Delight, I think it's called Sunny D now, isn't it? We're gonna put that Sunny Delight, she's going B tier. She was okay. I think I was mostly just really drawn to the shape of the bottle. I don't know why. It was a very novel bottle shape. No other drink had it, just the Sunny Delight. Moving on, next up we have a very, very classic Canadian treat, a maple cookie. I feel like everybody who likes maple cookies has their own brand of maple cookie that they prefer over others. They are all very different, I have to say. They vary in sweetness, they vary in tenderness of the cookie, they vary in power of maple flavor. And I think I picked a picture of the Irresistible brand of maple cookie, but I'm actually realizing that I think Compliments, like the store brand of, who's that store brand? I think Compliments maple cookies are my favorite. Hold on, we gotta do a quick little Google. Compliments maple cookies. Are these the ones I'm thinking of? Yes, it is. To me, I love the Compliments maple cookies. These mother effers are so good. The Irresistible ones are good as well. But you know what? I'm never gonna say no to a maple cookie. I love a maple cookie. I do find them a little overly sweet sometimes. But you know what? A tier. They're good. I'll never turn one down. I love a maple cookie. I've tried making them at home a couple times. They never quite turn out right. It's hard to get the cookie, like that crispness, and also maintaining definition of like a maple shape, you know? It could just go round. Where's the fun in that? Half the fun of a maple cookie is that it's maple leaf shaped. I believe this next item is also just a Canadian thing because maybe like a year ago or so, I was craving these so badly. I don't know if they don't have them here just in Minnesota or if it's just the entire country in general, but Crispers. The little cracker baked snack, they have like a little wavy S shape, specifically the AllDressed flavor. Salt and vinegar is awesome as well. When I was looking for them and couldn't find them here, I did something so silly and I spent $17 on Amazon of like a food importer shop, and I spent $17 on one bag of Crispers. Mind you, it was a family-sized bag, okay? But I just needed my hit of family-sized, AllDressed Crispers, and it was amazing. It was everything. It was worth it. Thinking about it kind of makes me want to do it again. Maybe we're going to get a salt and vinegar and an AllDressed this time. I love AllDressed. If you don't know what AllDressed is, how do I explain it? Think of like, well, they call it AllDressed because it's supposed to be like, it's got like all the seasonings on it. But I want to describe it. It's like slightly sweet, kind of ketchup-y mixed with like salt and vinegar, like a little bit of vinegriness. There's a tang to it for sure. I'm probably describing it very badly, but it's really yummy. I love AllDressed chips as well, like a good, thick AllDressed chip. Ooh. And you know what? You can find them here now. They exist here in Minnesota, which is awesome. And dill pickle chips. I love a dill pickle chip. Ooh, girl! And that's my story of how I spent $17 on one bag of Crispers because I was desperate. Okay, next up. I don't know if this is just like super local to where I lived. I know it's a chain. I'm pretty sure it's like all over Canada, I'm pretty sure. But there's a store called M&M Meat Shops, and they make like, well, you can buy like, everything's frozen there that you buy, I'm pretty sure. And you can get appetizer packs of various items, meats, of course, desserts, take-home meals that you can bake, like lasagnas or, I don't know, various shit. I'm sure they have all sorts of crazy stuff nowadays. Their version of Nanaimo bars. And a Nanaimo bar, if you don't know, another Canadian classic. It's like a, the bottom is like graham crackers, nuts, coconut, chocolate. It's really like dense and nutty and yummy. And then there's a custard cream in the middle, and then like a thin layer of chocolate on top. I love Nanaimo bars. They are very sweet, but I love them. The texture is so nice. And I really loved the M&M Meat Shop Nanaimo bars specifically if I didn't feel like making them, which most of the time I didn't, because it's really hard to get that like cream layer perfect, because you don't want it to be too sweet, but then you want it to have like flavor. And there's always been this rumor around that you have to use Bird's custard powder in it, which you do, but if you use too much of the Bird's custard powder, then it has like a chalkiness to it. So it's a little difficult to get just right to have that perfect Nanaimo bar cream filling flavor. But whatever M&M does, whatever fake additives they're putting in that shit, it is good. It is right. I'm a massive Nanaimo bar stan, so for me, S tier. You gotta do it. You gotta do it to him. Next up, let's talk about the gummy items, all right? Gushers. We all know them. We all love them. Maybe you don't know them if you don't live in North America. Do Gushers exist outside of North America? That I don't know. But if you don't know what they are, they're like a little gummy. It's like a jewel-shaped gummy, and then it has like a goo in the middle. A goo of the same flavor. And sometimes there were like sour Gushers. Those were awesome. Of course, never as sour as you want them to be, but whew, they were yummy. Now, I liked Gushers, but I did not like how they got very stuck in your teeth. Like that kind of gummy that gets very stuck in your teeth. To me, a little unpleasant. I loved the flavor, so I would always like nibble off the edge and then like suck out the goo and then just let the outside Gusher dissolve in my mouth because I didn't want to chew it. So I liked Gushers, but they weren't my favorite. So Gushers, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to go B tier. And in the same similar vein, let's talk about Fruit by the Foot. Maybe at the same time, this is also gonna be like Fruit Roll-Up, which is basically just sugar and fruit, like a fruit leather, but I'm sure it's more sugar than fruit, of course. But the Fruit Roll-Ups, when they had the tattoos, and then you could like lick the tattoo on your arm, that was so much fun. How weird though, also, just like licking a tattoo on your arm, a delicious sweet sugar tattoo. Yum. The best part about it though was if you had a fruit roll-up, to just smash it into a ball and then just chew on it. Very sticky in the teeth as well, but it was pretty good. I always, I loved getting, and when you freeze them and they like shatter, that's fun too. So Fruit by the Foot, B tier. B tier, sorry. And I think this was my favorite gummy type snack as a kid. The Sodaicious Gummies. Did you guys have Sodaicious Gummies? Oh, they were so good. They were like little bottles of sodas, and the root beers were like a mug root beer. And there was like a cherry and, was there cherry? Yeah, and like an orange, I believe, and like a cola. They were so good, and they had like the perfect dense gummy texture to them. They weren't too squishy like a Gushers, like they didn't get super stuck in your teeth. And they had like a little bit of a sour outside, I think. Like not quite Sour Patch Kids level. Also amazing. I'll eat those until my tongue bleeds. And when I realized they stopped making them, I was just like devastated. So delicious. S tier. Come on. S tier. Duh. Let's go with our next little candy thing. Am I an old lady? I don't know, but I love a Werther's Original. I love a Werther's Original, okay? I don't know why I remember these from my childhood so much. I think I had an aunt, but whenever we'd go over to their house, they always had a little, like a candy dish. And there was always Werther's Originals in there. And I'd be like, don't mind if I do. Little sugar-obsessed little fatty Tara. Of course, she's gonna grab a whole handful and sneak away and think no one's noticing, but everybody knows that all of a sudden there's a handful of Werther's Originals missing, and then little wrappers showing up in all my pants and shorts pockets. It was me. They're good, okay? Who cares how old you are? If it's a tasty candy, it's a tasty candy. I liked that you didn't have to chew it, so nothing's getting stuck in your teeth. That was great. Werther's Original, A tier. Apparently they're making all sorts of Werther's nowadays. There's like soft ones, there's like maple ones, there's ones that have like a little, the soft ones with a little bit of a chocolate poop in the center. What about Reasons? I should have put Reasons on here, that like dark caramel chocolate, chewy. Those are so good. Those would be an S tier if they were on my list. I love a Reason. Okay, last 3. Grant reminded me of Bagel Bites. We didn't get these often as a kid. I was always intrigued by them. The heating instructions on them never resulted in the kind of Bagel Bite that I wanted. It was always cold in the center. Somehow the sauce was like lava hot and burnt the crap out of your tongue. And the cheese was like cold. How'd that work out? I don't know why they heat like that. But then if you do them in the oven, they get like dry and hard really easily. And I was never a huge fan of Bagel Bites, but for some reason as an adult, I want to eat them all the time. When I see like a post on Instagram that's talking about nostalgia from your childhood, and so many people seem to love Bagel Bites and just like have them so fond in their hearts, and I don't know, I'm just not there with the Bagel Bites, you know? They're okay. There are other pizza items from my childhood I liked better, so these are gonna go in C tier. And let's talk about the one that I loved, a Pillsbury pizza pop. Apparently these are just Canadian. I looked this one up because I wanted to see, wanted to make sure these were just a Canadian thing, and they were. There also was a competing one, a Pillsbury pizza pocket. Those were not good. They were not as good. Like, they were okay, they'd do in a pinch if you want a little pizza hit, but the pizza pops were so good. There was just something about that dough. Oh my God, it was kind of like a little mini calzone in a way. Specifically the 3 cheese one, that was my jam. Oh, I still remember warming those up. And then sometimes you gotta like, sometimes you suck all the cheese out from the inside. And then you have this empty pizza pocket pastry pop. It was so good. I love pizza pops. I hold those dear in my heart. Do they still make these? Because if they do, next time I go home, I'm getting some. Just for nostalgia's sake. Pizza pops. Let's go A tier. Love them. Not crazy about them. I remember them being like expensive and therefore elusive. We didn't get them very often. I like them. Last but not least, when I was growing up, we didn't really ever have an ice cream truck in the neighborhood that drove around. What we had were called a Dicky D. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard me right. We had Dicky D's. The Dicky D! And I still to this day, I call them Dicky D, even when it's like an ice cream truck. Like, when the one comes around our neighborhood here, I'm like, Dicky D! Even though it's not, and they're actually blasting like hilarious music. Ice cream trucks nowadays are something else. When I was growing up, it was just somebody on a bike pedaling that little refrigerator. How did they keep that thing cold? Was it bike powered? Is that how it stayed cold? Did they just put ice in there? I gotta look into this. But Dicky D, okay, I know technically it's not something I'm eating, and it was various multiple ice creams. Anybody remember when like the SpongeBob popsicles came out and stuff? And those ones that was like a baseball glove? The baseball glove popsicle? I gotta look this up. Baseball glove popsicle. Yes! Bubble Play! And it had the gumball in the center. Oh my God. Oh my God. These things were so freaking good, dude. I totally forgot. And push-up pops. Push pop and just general popsicle. I missed so many things on this tier list. Oh my God. Bubble Play. And they'd always be kind of weird looking. The chocolate one was good. I mean, a fudgesicle. I'm always gonna say yes to a fudgesicle. That weird texture, kind of chewy, so good. All right, sorry, back to the tier list. Therefore, Dicky D, so many fond memories. Nothing was ever amiss from them, even if you accidentally got something you didn't like. Remember those like sour cyclones? Those like twisters? Oh, those were amazing. Dicky D, S tier. And that brings us to the end of our tier list here of our random 27 things that I thought of that I really, really missed from my childhood. As always, I would love to hear your input. Do you hate these things? Do you love some of these things? Is there something else from your childhood that you just fondly remember, or something that you even hated as a child? Because those things can stick with us as well into our adulthood. Me and the Passion Flakies, we're not friends, we're not buds. But anyway, that's gonna do it for us today in this video. Thank you for hanging out. Well, we just did a fun little tier list of childhood treats and snacks. I love this shit, okay? I'm sorry. All I wanna do now is go to the store and just buy treats and snacks. Oh my goodness, this is bad. I'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.